Okay, so let's talk a little bit about output. Templator can generate digital video files based off all the data in your spreadsheet on a per row basis, and it can also replicate the target composition that you want based off of this data as well. So I'm first going to talk about generating the actual video files on your disk. The first step for creating these digital video files is you have to let Templator know where to actually store the videos. So here in the set the render output folder field, you click that and you find a folder that's appropriate for all of your output. So in this case, I'm using this Bare Essentials project folder. And if I go into here, I can see that I've got this output subfolder. So I'm just going to do that and click open. So now my render output folder is set to a folder on my drive. Okay, so the next step is to choose a render settings template from this drop down here. I'm going to leave this at draft settings, but you can choose any one that you like that you have available. And for my output module, I'm just going to keep it at QuickTime DV. Again, you can select anything that you have available to AE. You can hit this refresh button if in this current session you create a new output module or a template and you want to see them in this drop down, just click this button right here. Okay, so the render row range allows you to set a start and an end row so that you can select a set of rows rather than the entire spreadsheet to process. So for this example, I'm not going to do all the rows, I'm just going to do a few. So I'm going to do row 2 through 5. And for the prefix here, this is a word that will get prepended to every file name that gets generated from this actual batch process. So in order to actually perform the render, you have to let Templator know which composition to process. So to do that, I click my Preferences button in my main panel and I get my Templator Preferences dialog. And in this list box here, it's going to list all of the compositions in your project. Now, I only have one composition here. So essentially, I'm just going to select that and click OK. Now, what I want to go ahead and do is, since this is an example, I don't want to render out all of the 8 seconds here. So I'm just going to drop this down to like maybe, 3 seconds. And I'm going to go ahead and hit render. And what this is going to tell me now is AE is going to say, wait a second, we're going to create all these files. Are you sure you want to proceed? Because we're going to delete all of them that exist in this output folder that I specified here. So I say yes, I do want that to be the case. So I hit yes, and you're going to see Templator process every single row that I've specified in this range. It's going to follow all the rules that I've specified per layer, and it's just going to iterate through each row. Great, so let's take a look at the Finder. So if we look at the files in this output folder, you can see that the word tutorial is prepended to each file. And then we've got the name of the composition that was processed. And then we have an index value that relates to the index row for the on the spreadsheet. So that's how Templator handles file naming. There are advanced features for targeting different compositions per row in your spreadsheet, and we'll get to that in a different video, but this is the basic way that Templator handles output file naming.